is Lynne Wilson. Lynne is CEO with 3D VIA of Dassault Systems.
So thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I don't want you to be thinking about questions first, because I would like you to pay attention. I was first going to just ask if everybody, the stuff I'm going to talk about is a little bit different. So if you're willing to kind of take a deep cleansing breath and suspend some of your preconceptions about what virtual reality and 3D technology is all about, I welcome you to take that journey with me. As a background, I'm someone who likes to do something new. I've spent time in blue chips and I spent time in startups. I typically am the person who comes in to start something new, which is the role I have at Dassault Systems. I've worked at Fidelity doing their online trading systems. I worked for a sister company of the Weather Channel, where we were the first people to deliver graphical weather to the cockpit of private jets. We built a FAA certified piece of equipment. We extended that to yachts. That was a really fun job. But anyway, I came to DS, or 3DS as we call ourselves, about 5 years ago because I wanted to launch this new brand. For those of you who don't know DS, a little bit about us. First, I start with the customers, 130,000 of them. We work in 11 different industry sectors, automotive, aero, all the way to financial services. We have 3,500 partners and 8 brands. I'm the CEO of one of the brands. You probably know CATIA, SolidWorks, Delmia, Simulia, and Ovia. So I'm on the new side, online, visual, and what we want to do, the mission of my brand is really simple. We want to advance the way the world communicates and learns. And what I wanted to do today was plant an idea that if a 2D picture is worth 1,000 words, I just want you to ask yourself, what could a really useful 3D experience be worth to you and your business and your consumers? So what I wanted to do was talk about, we were asked to focus on customers. So I have what I call 3 snippets. They're very short customer stories. And then I have 1 domain story about virtual training and learning. And I'm trying to do that in 5 minutes or less. So my quick stories are, we have a product called 3D Via Composer. It allows you to import any kind of CAD data, animate it, publish it to the web, and share as a document, as a maintenance and service instruction, whatever. But what we found is this product has broad appeal to people who are in small and medium-sized businesses. We have a customer, Jim Grimes, who's at GID Development Corp. And I thought it used to be Grimes Industrial Design. That's where GID came from. But GID really means get it done. This is a gentleman who works with inventors and tries to get them to put their product into reality. So he works with inventors. They develop a digital mock-up. They typically try to send it offshore for some preliminary design and potential manufacturing and cost. The whole idea is to help this inventor get funded. So what Jim loves about our products, or just a 3D experience in general, is that he can quickly animate viewing and understanding. And it's like someone is right there with him at his CAD desktop, but he doesn't have to be there. He can immediately publish it anywhere around the world. So there's 24-hour interaction on the product and the technology. And what took him days to do, or what he never could do because he was just too tired, is now done in minutes, and it's immediately shared online on the cloud, again, to reduce the cycle time. The second thing is a company called Zasar. I think I'm saying that right. It's a company in Turkey. It's family-owned. It's small. And they develop custom machinery for battery production, and they serve the auto and marine segments. And his challenge is, like everyone else, he needs to win new business in a global economy. So what he's saying is, if he can show an animation of how a custom machine works, so it's really easy. You import it, you animate it, you publish it. Rather than actually having to build it, it's more cost effective, and it gives him flexibility to demonstrate his technology anywhere in the world. Again, this is what it's like. Take your assets, repurpose them, publish them online, share them, and connect the people in the communities so that cycle times are reduced. And what he's quoting is he reduced his time to market by 60%. He cut his design time by 70%. He decreased his development cost by 60%. And he believes, this technology helped him win a new 700,000 euro contract. So those are, my last snippet is I want you to go to the domain of retailing. So we are working with one of the world's largest retailers. And what we're using is technology to help people understand how to lay out a store. Because in a store, everything, if you think there's technology on the manufacturing shop floor, there's technology on a retail store floor. Where do we lay it out? How many do we have? How often do we cycle the material or the products? How far is it from the stock room to where the product needs to get on the floor? It's a pure science. It's fabulous. But anyway, what we're doing is helping them communicate for seasonal category merchandise changes what a particular department or aisle in a store should look like. And it used to be that they would lay this out physically, so this whole stage could be some goods department, and they would bring people in and they would say, here, store manager, this is what we want you to do. We've tested this, and we've tested the virtual versus the real, and people believe the virtual representation that we're bringing to them is highly effective. They don't have to travel. It's very easy to use and understand. So I'm going to say stay tuned for more information, but we're in process of implementing this, and it's going well. So my last story is I want to talk about some of the more way out stuff that's happening there in the domain of learning. The last thing 3DV is doing is we are trying to use visual experiences to help orient people in their jobs in a physical space. So that's where am I, what's my individual training, can I be safe in my job if I'm in a nuclear plant, can you help train me for where I'm supposed to put my used clothing, what if there's a radioactive alert, how do I service something? So these are all individual, how do I do my job, but we are also trying to build the capabilities so that people can collaborate and do this together in a team-based environment. So I thought I would just share one story, which is from NIOSH, which is the National Institute for Occupational Health and Safety and Health, because we're working with the Office of Mine Safety and Health Research, and they have a big campus outside of Pittsburgh, and they have a virtual reality center, but they are working to help reduce hazards in mines, because there's roofs that fall in, there's high heights you have to go up to mine coal, there's heavy equipment and machinery, there are confined spaces, there's fires and explosions, and there's a lot of heavy work. So they are trying to make the workplace, which is admittedly very dangerous, much safer for people to operate in and develop some new equipment. So they've got a whole planning curriculum and training curriculum. This is going to go across industries, but for them, they're using a desktop as well as full virtual reality capability. They are teaching and assessing navigation skills in the mine. How do you know where you're going? Also, they have networked interaction. It's interactive. They use the iPod Touch, so an instructor, I think you mentioned this morning, instructor can post a question out to the team can come back, and it's all iterative and team-based learning. It's very exciting. So they're trying to engage trainees through the use of experiential learning, including decision-making skills, problem-solving, and collaboration, because it's not about do I know what to do. It's about potential crisis management. What do I do when something goes wrong, and how do we interact together? So I can show you some of those during the break if people are interested. And then I just wanted to leave you with, so the question I would be asking if I were you is great. There's a research project. It seems to be working in an industry, but how do I know it works? And I'd just like to share that there are many examples in many industries where we're working with customers, industrial equipment manufacturers who want to train their dealers. It's just a lot easier if they can see it and understand it. I mentioned a couple things we're doing in the energy sector. There are military and government customers we're working with. The Royal Australian Navy is using this kind of technology to train people who are going to live and serve on certain ships in their Navy. We've got the French security team working to help train some of for crisis management in certain museums. There's another French small startup, again, we typically get some of these new innovators. They've developed an application so that you can do crowd control at a football game or soccer stadium. So they train people, they've got real-time information coming in, and they can redeploy the security guards to certain gates based on what's happening in the fan situation. And then the last thing I'd invite you to, if you know anyone who's had a heart attack, I hope you don't, but we've developed an application called Staying Alive, which is a partnership with us and a professor from the Descartes, the Paris Descartes University. And what this is, it's a way to help people understand if somebody falls down and you find a defibrillator. I've been looking and I see them more and more. I must be sensitized to it. But it will help you understand what to do, who to call, if you have a defibrillator around, what you can do with it. And again, there's a whole training curriculum. It's all online. And it's had like pretty good uptake from the consumer segment. So that's how I want to stop. We are trying to advance the way the world communicates and learns. We want to do it online. We want to do it visual. We want to be collaborative. So I'll stop there. Thank you.